Ranger Arms is back with the RA9 Defense 2. This is one I'm really excited about. I really enjoyed the original. You guys saw that video and review last year. This has some upgrades. Coming up next, you'll see my absolute first shots through the gun. We'll do full magazine +1, see how it runs fully stuffed, take it to the What's for Dinner table to see what it eats, the spinner for sights and trigger control, some practical accuracy on a 1-inch square from 7 yards, and then give you my concluding thoughts. All coming up next on Completely Cold Shots. We're 23 yards or so away from a 12-inch round out there, thanks to Thor Targets. First 10 rounds of the gun, I'm using normal 124 grain as the range ammo today. That's what I have. And I've had questions about why I use a small target at distance to start, especially when I don't know where the sight hold is. I end up missing. The short attention span kids say, oh, you can't shoot, and they move on to another video. Well, that's because that level of focus forces me to pay attention to the gun more. If it were an easier target, say a wall of full-size steel, or if it was something closer, I wouldn't be giving the same effort into the gun that I do with these shots. So let's see how this does. On the tabletop, I was impressed with the new trigger. Total missed, and see where it went. Cannot see. Soil's wet. We've had several days of rain. Whoa, 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 whoa. Something ain't right here. So here I am. You can tell I'm now in long sleeves, and the background has changed on a different day with the Osight X mounted. I don't know if I'm having an off day on this original filmed video, or if it's the sights or a combination thereof. Definitely didn't help that I couldn't see the splash in the dirt. So with a dot on here, same distance. Got 5 rounds in here. Let's give this a quick try just to be fair to you and to be fair to the gun. Yeah, I was having an off day. This happens, and as I may or may not have said at the start of that video, I do small steel at distance as my warm-up, because it helps me focus on the gun. The problem is if I can't tell where I'm missing because of wet background, things like that, the smoke, the sun in my eyes that day, completely different weather that day, it makes for a rough start. You've now seen it was a combination of things, not the gun. I was just having a rough day. The rest of the video is still good. Let's get back into it. Recoil impulse is very nice. Huh, man, I wish I could get even just a puff of dust to see where I'm going. The manual did warn that it's set for 25 yards, but a 12-inch round at 23-ish yards should count. I'm gonna aim low, now I aim high. No idea. That's frustrating. This is exactly what I was just talking about a moment ago. Keep trying through this. That's the first time in 500 plus gun reviews that I've missed every shot. Okay, well, good thing my marksmanship was not the question there. Now we'll do full magazine +1, see how the gun runs fully stuffed. This part, do without the target camera. We're just looking to find the rhythm of the gun and see how it runs fully stuffed. I try to go a little bit quicker just to see what recoil control is like. Try some pairs. All very smooth. The gun really locks in your hand. A great traction on there. Man, I wish there was a puff of dust or something down there. I'm keeping it real. That's the way this channel runs. Now let's over to the What's for Dinner table and see what the gun eats. Here comes that radio voice. It's What's for Dinner time. thanks to some shopping, a patron, and well, yeah, that's pretty much it today. We've got 100 grain up through 165 grain. Goal of what's for dinner is to see what the gun will eat. That means, does it feed from slide lock, cycle and feed another round of the same type from the energy of the previous round, and will it lock the slide open on empty? Testing beyond that is a test of the magazine. You're welcome to try that, or if you want to experiment with any of these on your own, check the pinned comment where I'll link to sources as I can find them. Now, 7 yards back from some 2-inch circles, these will serve as a general point of aim and help us detect point of impact shift if that happens throughout these loads. Really, we're looking to see, does the gun cycle? I'm also going to see where the heck I was hitting. The manual specifically warned against lightweight or hypervelocity ammunition. This first load is some Liberty 100 grain 1250 feet per second out of a standard 4-inch barrel. We'll get a little more out of this, I believe. But I don't consider that hyper per se. Well, let's find out where we're printing. I'm gonna hold dead center, even sights. Way high left. Way high left. And way high left. But no issues cycling in the Ranger. It'll be interesting to see if the sights are off or if it was just that load. I'm going to maintain a center hold through these loads because, well, that's part of the purpose of what's for dinner. Now another 100 grainer, the Exergy from S&B. Thank you to the patron who supplied this. It's been in many videos. I also did a dedicated test on it. It seems to be pretty good stuff. That felt nice. That has a good impulse to it. Next up is the Blazer Reduced Recoil 100 grainer. Don't worry, we will get up there and bullet weight. Maybe find something this barrel likes, or it could just be these sights. Looking at them, the rear sight appears to be centered just fine. I don't know. And that's a nice trigger. You notice we're notably closer to my point of aim that time. Maybe the manual warned against lightweight and high velocity stuff for a reason. Oh my gosh, groundbreaking news right here on GBGuns. So now we'll move into 115 grain, the Hag Hornady American Gunner. Nice recoil impulse. Stuff smelled good too, a little bit like campfire grilling kind of thing. You know, when you start the campfire just after you finish grilling and some of the fat and grease is still dripping into the fire. Circle 4 Winchester Silvertip 115 grain. These tend to be a little bit spicier, but with the extra mass in this frame and the way this gun is built, I'm expecting it to shoot nicely. You know, this trigger, it's funny, it doesn't scream at you, hey, I'm a super duper nice trigger, but it sure is nice and predictable. Just overall feels good. Also note, we were much closer to center on that load. So now we're moving into some 124s, the Federal Premium Law Enforcement Tactical HST, the stuff with a sealed primer that comes in a 50 round box, circle 6. That was punchier. And we can definitely see where that 6 o'clock hold recommendation in the manual also applies. But while it was punchier and I felt more muzzle flip, the rest of it felt pretty good. Sorry about the sun glare, guys. I know Pacific Northwest, we get extreme angles plus the hours that I film at. I used to have one of those filters on to kind of neutralize things. And as soon as I put that on, we got into the dark days. So I take it off and now here we have a sunny day. Horny Critical Duty 135 grain, circle 7. Yeah, I'm liking that trigger. Still high left though. Good news is that rear sight is adjustable and a red dot can be mounted on this for later, so I'm not particularly worried about it. Next, the Fiocchi Defense Dynamics 147 grain. This stuff tends to shoot very softly. Man, loving that trigger. Oh, looks like we had some rounds that fall down. Winchester, what's this again? Defense 147 grain. Again, the spicy stuff. And as you guys know from watching my ammo test, Winchester tends to test a little hotter than other loads, regardless of what's said on the box. Man. Such a predictable trigger. It's so good. Ammo Inc. Stolf, and if you missed it in a previous video, yes, it's true. Ammo Inc. has sold their ammunition production to Olin, the parent company of Winchester, so Ammo Inc.'s likely gone, which is unfortunate. The Stolf, despite the spelling error, really nice stuff, 165 grain, great in suppressors, very soft shooting in handguns. And I don't know if it came through in the microphone, but I could definitely hear that was most certainly subsonic. So, do we have a picky eater? It eats it, but notable point of impact shifts. I kept the same hold in the center of those circles through all those loads. And we also see the sights are probably a little left. The high we knew about, it was in the manual. So for the spinner, I'm going to hold low and maybe a little right. There it is, the 6-inch spinner target. We're back about 13 yards away. Of course, next to the camera. Use this for sights and trigger control because it's a small target at distance. As I hit it, it begins to move. If I want to get it over the top, I have to hit it only when it's moving away from me. The better it's hit and the more it's swinging, the harder that is, the more a test of sights and trigger control it becomes. We know I need to aim a little low. We don't know how low. At 13 yards, we'll find out. Let's go for 5 o'clock. Nope. Wow. TKO. That was an interesting test of my ability to guess. I ended up having to hold far more right than I expected, and not quite as low as I expected. But as you saw, once I figured it out, thanks to a really nice trigger, it became very easy to time those shots. Just a matter of figuring out where to aim. For the long run, you need to do something about these sights and or throw a dot on it. That would obviously be the solution. I'm sure when producing these, gun makers are assuming most people are going to put a dot on their gun anyways, because that's what the current thing is. However, I don't think that's an excuse to not have the gun decently zeroed before it goes out the door. That's a disappointment. The rest of it so far, really nice. For the practical accuracy, I'm going to maintain a hold on that square. The group's probably going to be 2 or 3 inches high and left off of the target, but the group is what we're looking for anyways. Here we go, 5 shots of normal 124 grain on a 1-inch square from 7 yards, aiming at the left circle square. Gonna hold on the target. The group is what we're looking for, and really the purpose of all this is it's when I gather my concluding thoughts on the gun. Did not get slide lock. Wonder if that's a thumb thing. After shots for the RA9 Defense 2. Is it what I was hoping for? Well, the sights being off is a little bit discouraging. I'm sure you guys have experienced this at the range when you go out and you shoot and you don't hit what you think you're going to hit. You start to doubt yourself. We proved on paper through numerous loads that it's not me, it's the gun. That made me feel a little bit better. However, it still made stuff difficult for me. That is fixable. It's a bummer it's not ready out of the box. This is an early one. Maybe it was rushed. I don't know. It's really, I'm not going to let the sights taint my overall opinion of the gun. The traction, spectacular, feels very comfortable in the hand. The recoil impulse is very nice, very controllable, feels like an authoritative gun. Doesn't feel like a toy and doesn't feel like it's trying to jump out of your hand either. And the trigger, really, really nice. There's a little click you get, a little positive, hey, this is the wall. The next thing that happens is it's going to fire, which makes it very predictable during slow fire. And if you want to just go do a fast fire through it, it's very clean and nice as well. So overall, yes, an improvement over the original. Did I have as great of a shooting time today? No, because the sights weren't quite on. I'll probably slap a dot on it and come back out, shoot some more things with it, build more confidence with the gun. But it's nice to have seen Ranger Arms, a company that until last year I hadn't heard of, come out of the blue with good bones and then very rapidly respond to US market needs with all the updates and upgrades on this that you saw in the article and in the tabletop video. Thanks for watching.